All right, welcome back to the Attack the Rack YouTube channel. This is the Attack the Rack daily lineup show with myself, Trent, and Big Mo. Um, First, we got to start off with apologies to Jerry Root. Last night, Big Mo at the end of the program was giving a shout out to Jerry Root, hole in one. We got cut off there at the end. I tried to do a little editing magic to try to make it seem smooth at the end there. Didn't turn out so hot. So again, we want to congratulate Jerry Root on the hole in one. Um, guys, I haven't seen. I probably see Mr. Root, who, by the way, for the fans up there, longtime teaching coach, basketball coach legend here in West Michigan. I run into him maybe, I don't know, once or twice a year, maybe at most. Haven't seen him since maybe noon today.
Oh, you ran into him, huh?
Ran into him completely.
Come on. Come on.
Seriously.
That's wild.
Yeah, isn't it? So
Yeah.
it was. I said, "Hey, congrats on that hole in one." He's like, "How'd you know that?" And I was like, "Oh, Klingler told me." He was wondering how he didn't say, but I wonder if he was wondering how you knew Big Mo.
True.
And then we talked about how crazy it was that Trent's both Trent's parents hole in one within a 7-8 day span. So anyway, just wanted to clear up the editing error there from yesterday's program. Last night, guys, Caitlin Clark, Indiana Fever played the Dallas Wings, last game of their first half of the season. Now the WNBA goes on a long break. They've got the All-Star game on Saturday night where they will play the WNBA All-Stars will play the U.S. Women's Olympic basketball team. So anyone that's not on the Olympic team roster that was eligible then to be voted on for the All-Star game. So that'll be Saturday night, and then long break for the Olympics. No more WNBA until next month. Let's start with the game last night. I know Big Mo, you watched it. Trent, did you?
No,
Did you?
I did not. But I saw that she had 19 assists.
Yeah, 19 assists, WNBA record.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, to go along with 24 points and 6 boards. She only needed 2.5 quarters to get that double-double. So halfway through the third quarter, she had the double-double. But then, if you look at just the second half alone, she also had a double-double. So, but again, though, the 3-point shooting, the thing that she, was known for in college, shooting so well from 3-point range, all the deep threes. Last night, only 2 of 9 again from 3. But obviously, she's finding other ways to score, impacting the game with all the assists. 19 of them, again, WNBA record. I think Aaliyah Boston had like 26 points maybe in that game. So, but they lost. So great. It was a close game all the way through, and they did end up losing. So they are 11-15 going into the break, currently in the 7th playoff spot, 7 out of 8. So, Big Mo, I know you watched the game. What were your thoughts?
I mean, again, she does an amazing job of orchestrating the offense. I think that's fun to watch. I know everybody has their different take on the WNBA, but watching her facilitate and do things like that, I think is phenomenal. I mean, she probably should have had 20, 22 or 23 assists.
Yeah, for sure.
I still think she passes up too many mid-range type opportunities to make the extra pass. I think that would have helped them last night. That was a bad loss for them last night. Probably a game they probably should have won. And I think in regards to her 3-point shooting, I just don't think. I mean, she missed a couple open ones. I don't think she's used to getting open ones right now. But then I think she's forced to take some tough ones as well. So I think that's why her percentages I think it's one of those new things, right? They do a great job of forcing the ball out of her hands and kind of maybe even running her off the 3-point line. And then when she gets a wide open one, it's probably like so frantic, like, holy cow, second guess yourself, like, why am I so wide open? So, the other thing, the other record, she had another record last night. I think she had she combined for like the most points, whether assist or points scored in a WNBA game, but like 66 out of the 84 points she was in on. So I think that was a WNBA record as well last night. So
Yeah, that's an incredible stat, and I think I mentioned too on the program before here that even if she doesn't score the basket or have the direct assist, so many other times on a scoring situation she maybe set the whole thing up with like the pass that then led to an easy assist as well. So kind of like a hockey assist, I think is what they call it. Trent, so you were quite the shooter in high school basketball. I don't know if you ever had any shooting slumps, but obviously Caitlin Clark, this whole first half of her first WNBA season has kind of been a shooting slump. If you were her coach or her shooting coach, what would you tell her as she now goes on a 3-4 week break here to try to get her reset? Just
Yeah. I'm not sure on how much like the speed difference is from college to WNBA, but I know that adjustment for myself was it took some time to get used to the speed from high school to college. So maybe she's having a little speed adjustment and just trying to get her timing back. She's a good enough shooter to where she can just go in and form shoot and get some basic shots up and try to get her form back. I don't think she'll be in a slump for too much longer. Maybe it's part of the pressure as well. She's getting pressured more often. If she's playing point, they're picking her up all the way down the floor, so that could have some wear and tear on her. Maybe she's just tired. She didn't get an off season, so she jumped right into the season. So maybe she's legs are a little heavy and just not as fine tuned as she was when she was at Iowa.
Yeah, no, for sure. And the best way to get out of a shooting slump is to keep shooting too, right?
Got to keep shooting. Yeah, especially with her. Like she took 19 shots last night, but if she took 8, and gets to the free throw line more often, I guess it kind of just depends on. They need her to shoot and they need her to score for them to be successful. So she's just got to keep firing away.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think if maybe she can just have like one game where she hits like 6 out of 8 or something crazy like that, I think that'll just one really good shooting night will probably get her rolling.
Or maybe she can just stop complaining to the refs and to the coach and bitching all the time. That might help her jump shot a little bit too. Maybe she worries about her jump shot rather than the officials all the time. Then she almost complains more than LeBron. So I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she complains a lot, but
all the time.
I wouldn't put her on the level of LeBron. What else was I gonna say? I think Big Mo kind of talked about this too. It's like she does not get any good looks. It's almost like every 3 she has for the most part is almost off her own move, off the dribble. Like Trent, you mentioned when she's running the one, she's getting picked up pressure right away. When she's not running the one, they're still picking her up full court.
Yeah.
And so, she does not really get hardly any, inside out rhythm threes where it's just like someone's attacking and kicks it out to her.
Right.
She gets really no good looks. So,
and she played 40 minutes last night. I'm assuming that's the whole game for WNBA is 40.
Yeah.
So she played the whole game.
Yep.
They only play 8 girls, and one of them played 4 minutes. So really 7.
Yep. Well, speaking of the WNBA, they just got a brand new TV deal as part of the overall NBA deal. NBA owning, so I think they own like 60% of the WNBA, and typically subsidize the WNBA, giving them like 10 million a year. But part of this new TV deal, spread over a handful of networks over the next 11 years, will bring in the WNBA's cut is 2.2 billion over the next 11 years, 200 million a year, up from 60 million a year. So 140 million dollars more per year. And I mean, guys, you gotta, as much as people don't like to admit it in the media, it's really because of Caitlin Clark. It really is, and there's plenty of evidence to back that up. Just the fact that, you know, her games, whether it's on the road or at home, average 16, 17,000 fans a game, where, you know, everyone else is, when she in a game that she's not playing, attendance, maybe they're lucky if they get 8,000. You know, I think all of Caitlin Clark's games are on TV except for two. No one else, you know, everyone else, they're only on TV a handful of times. It's certainly
That means they were prepping for her like a year ago.
probably, yeah.
You know, because you get your whole TV schedule and game schedule and
Yeah.
that whole thing's situated probably at least probably a year in advance. So they're waiting for her to get to the WNBA.
Yep. And it's like it's like the media just like, you know, I don't understand why they can't just admit it. Like, what's the big deal? Just say, hey,
Right.
you know, and move on.
Yeah.
Great. Hey, everyone, you know, everyone's benefiting. It's clearly because of Caitlin Clark. Just admit it and then just move on. Let's play basketball. But
Yeah,
you know,
especially if you just look at the numbers based off attendance, TV views, that kind of thing. Like they're through the roof now, and
Right.
there shouldn't be any confusion on why.
well,
Oh,
if you watch ESPN, apparently there is some confusion. But anyway, what were you going to say, Big Mo?
I mean, I mean, I'm going to play the advocate on the other side. I think there's probably a little bit. I mean, we obviously, I do think the women's game has grown. Now, obviously, a lot of that is due to Caitlin Clark, but I also think of like Juju Watkins, obviously the Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark drama. I think the growth, obviously, and then I think the players that have been there and done it, you know, there's a little bit of that, hey, we've been doing this for a while. You know, we've been keeping it alive. Give us a little bit of our due. So I'm sure I mean, whether that's media, the old heads in the game, obviously, I just think the game. I mean, Caitlin Clark and the Angel Reese stuff a year ago, or now 2 years ago, kind of really just helped the game explode. I don't know even. I'm trying to think. 2 years ago was Caitlin Clark what she is or what she was even a year ago. You know, the following of her fans is amazing. But I think that's just allowed the game to grow on the women's side. At least I mean, for people to go watch it. I mean,
Yeah.
so.
Well,
Yeah. I kind of look at it as, I mean, you have Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird and those types of players who have been in the league for so long, and nobody watched, you know, so it's hard I think it's hard for them because they were obviously bitter about the stuff coming out about her Caitlin kind of being the ringleader and bringing all this attention to the WNBA. So I think it would be tough as like a WNBA superstar prior to Caitlin Clark, where they weren't on TV as much, fan base wasn't great with their talent level. Because you could probably put them near Caitlin Clark talent wise, I would say. At least Taurasi, and I think I watched Taurasi in college more than I watched her in the WNBA while she was at UConn. So I think being that older veteran and not having the exposure until now because of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and some of the other big time names, I think that caused them to be a little bit bitter long term, but they should also be happy about it as well, just because now there's more eyes. I know it's on the back end of their career, but there's more eyes, there's more money, TV deals and that kind of thing. So it is trending in the right direction. They just got to maintain it now.
Yeah, and that'll be the interesting part. Like, can it continue to grow like that, or
Right.
can it continue to move in this direction when it was where it was a year ago to compare it to now? It'll be interesting to see because I would say some of those players you named probably more talented physically than Caitlin Clark.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but how does that? Caitlin Clark just plays such a different type of game than that probably has been seen in such a long time. And again, I really think some of that Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark stuff really like just elevated everything. Not on the level of a Magic Bird or Bad Boys versus Jordan, but on that same level, though, it takes something little like that to really, I think, start to build something special.
Yeah, I agree. We're going to need another Caitlin Clark in 7 to 10 years, though.
Yeah.
Because if she gets to the back end of the career and there's no one as exciting as she is, then it's probably just going to be a repeating of history.
Yeah, but that's the great thing about sports, right? Everyone now sees that, and everyone when we played, the old guys, we wanted to be Jordan, Bird, and Magic.
Yeah,
the game changed, right? People today they want to be Kobe, LeBron, whatever. Hopefully, all the young ladies out there now are saying, "I want to be a Caitlin Clark." They're gonna their game should expand and it should become better basketball as they keep moving forward.
Agreed.
Well, here's the thing, guys. So players like Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, the kind of the legends of the game that built the WNBA to a point. To say that Caitlin Clark has taken it to another level in no way, shape, or form is a knock on those players. But the reality is, as good as they were, and you can say, oh, they're just as good as Caitlin Clark, and maybe in a way some of them are. But when you watch Caitlin Clark, it's a whole different type of smoothness and swagger to her game that no other women's players ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that doesn't mean they weren't maybe as good or, had, or potentially could be as good. But no one has ever, when you watch the game and you go by the eye test, as good as some of those other players are, phenomenal players, and as rough as Caitlin Clark has looked at times with the bad turnovers and stuff, when she is handling that ball and going up the floor or making these behind the back bounce passes in the lane, no one's done that before. And that doesn't take anything away from a Diana Taurasi. Mm-hmm. Or again, saying that the reason that they got this new deal is because of Caitlin Clark. That's not a knock on any of those players. And you bring up the Angel Reese thing. Like, that rivalry is awesome. It's huge for the WNBA. It's had a huge impact as well. But if Angel Reese did not play against Caitlin Clark in the national championship game 2 years ago, it wouldn't be what it is right now. We maybe would have heard of Angel Reese. The only reason any of us have watched any WNBA or women's college basketball last year was because of Caitlin Clark. And again, that's not taking anything away from Angel Reese. But if it was not for those two meeting up in that national championship game, because of the hype that Caitlin Clark had already had all season long leading up to that game, if Iowa would have gotten knocked out earlier in the tournament and those two teams didn't play, we wouldn't really probably even know who Angel Reese is.
Yeah, but don't you think? I don't know if Caitlin Clark would have exploded quite as much. Not her game.
She was already huge before that game. Huge. That's the only reason we watched the game. That game.
Yeah, because then all the records were coming into play. like the 3.1, the points, like that when she was going to get the most points scored record
Yeah.
at the home game, that place was packed, which was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, and it's just
And again, I think again, this is we're talking three guys who probably have not watched enough WNBA to make some of these comparisons. But
exactly, that's my point.
but in the end, it could, like, if Deanna Taurasi went to some small town or not basketball factory like UConn, would she have put up more amazing numbers? What if Sue Bird went to some, those women all have national championships because they decided, hey, I'm going to go play at this place and I'm going to be part of a program.
Yeah.
Where's Iowa going to be next year?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah,
exactly. I couldn't tell you either, right? But they don't have Caitlin Clark anymore. Now, if one of those, I think maybe now you'll see more women or girls go to these other schools and try to take that same game approach as Caitlin Clark, which will change women's basketball at every level. But again, I don't know. Is good. I mean, Caitlin Clark is amazing, and getting probably one of the few reasons that I drove to watch her play once, but I also flew and went and watched Paige Becker's play. So, I think the game is changing, but it's because I'm not going to take anything away from those women before Caitlin Clark. Obviously, Caitlin Clark is going to be one of these people we talk about down the road, in the same type of likeness as that changed the game. Bird, Magic, Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. Obviously, the game is way different, but she's changing the game right now, and that's the reason fans are so intrigued by it and drawn into it all.
Well, and I think too, part of the reason that we're watching her play, and part of the reason that she's obviously elevated the game to where it is and playing in front of 16, 17,000 people every night is still kind of based off of how amazing her college career was. Mm-hmm. And, statistically speaking, she had a better college career than any player in history. And so when you want to talk about and again, I'm not saying you, but I'm saying, you see the media, well, this is not fair. Why didn't Diana Taurasi why weren't people watching the WNBA when Diana Taurasi came to the WNBA or any other of these other players? Well, as good as they were, and they're phenomenal players, they didn't have the career that Caitlin Clark had, and some of it's not even their fault. Just there's what with the way that TV is now and social media is now. We also had a lot more access to be able to watch Caitlin Clark play than we did 20 years ago with Diana Taurasi as well.
Yeah. Well, I still think, and again, I don't know, I cannot remember following Caitlin Clark 2 years ago before she got into the national tournament. Obviously she was talked about as because she was scoring and she could shoot the snot out of the ball. But I think globally, everything for the women's basketball in the college game really exploded because of the feud between Angel Reese and Caitlin. Oh, yeah. I think it became even more hey, Caitlin Clark was probably one of the best players. Did she win the Player of the Year that year?
Yeah.
Okay. But I think just to draw in more people, whether you love her or hate her or you were taking sides. Again, I think it took something like that happening in that LSU game to make it even bigger.
100%. Now, that was because I had heard of all the hype of her a little bit during the season, and then especially in the tournament that year. That's the only reason I watched that game. I had never heard of Angel Reese. I probably didn't even know they were playing LSU. I just knew Iowa was in the national championship game, and they had this girl named Caitlin Clark that had been tearing it up. And so I chose to see what the hype was all about. And then, then they obviously had the poor sportsmanship of Angel Reese there that just blew it all up. Yeah, for sure. Definitely led to the game exploding from there. But again, if not for Caitlin Clark, that never would have happened. There wouldn't have been all those eyes on that game without Caitlin Clark. And Trent, you brought up a good point too, is like at some point this is going to kind of plateau, and maybe it already has. And there's got to be somebody else coming that can challenge her, somebody else to be able to watch that is on that level. And we might have that already with Juju Watkins at USC. Freshman year, phenomenal player, phenomenal season. So we could already have that next, player coming up. But
hey, let's say was it Iowa that beat UConn in that last second?
yeah,
right. I mean, think about that. They don't make that call, and now we've got UConn playing again. And so I mean, like you said, I'm telling you, I thought Smooth. Now, obviously, I'm telling Smooth. I saw Paige Beckers play this year at Minnesota, and like athletically fluid, like way smoother than what Caitlin Clark looks as you watch her. Like but it's a different game, right? Caitlin Clark had free range to do whatever she wanted. She pretty much like controlled her team and how she played. Like there was carte blanche. Hey, you do you. Where I still think like Paige Beckers is like, hey, I'm playing for a Hall of Fame coach. I'm playing for national championships. So she's kind of I think she's, she was player of the year before she got injured as a freshman, I believe.
So she tore her ACL.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
So the year that Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese met in the final, she was out. So, there's another one. So you got Paige. How do you pronounce the last name? Beckers.
Beckers. I think it's Beckers.
Yeah. And Juju Watkins. So there could be a nice, But
I think others will explode on the scene. Like I said, I think the game is changing. I think you're going to see more teams that kind of look like that Iowa team where they're going to get, that one really good player, and then they're going to try to surround her with really quality other players. I mean, so.
Well, I wanted to talk a little bit more and get maybe your whys on this stuff, but we got to move on here. Real quick though, first half, obviously there's only two people even in the discussion for Rookie of the Year. First half Rookie of the Year, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. Trent, who do you got?
Caitlin Clark.
Big Mo, who you got?
Yeah, Caitlin Clark.
Yeah. I mean,
so much more exciting to watch.
Well, it's just like to me, and again, it comes down to the eye test. You're just watching who's the better basketball player. It's clearly Caitlin Clark again, despite ESPN pushing the narrative is Angel Reese Rookie of the Year, Dawn Staley Angel Reese Rookie of the Year, Juju Watkins Angel Reese Rookie of the Year. I mean, I don't.
Hey, she is going to blow away like the double. Right now, I mean, I think the catchings maybe has the record in the WNBA for 22 in a season.
Oh yeah, she'll easily get that. Caitlin Clark might get that.
Yeah. I mean, well, and that's So I don't think. Obviously, we're talking Rookie of the Year. You hope in the end, I guess, that Caitlin Clark's team is better than the Sky. I think that you don't want that to be a playing factor, but in the end, like you would hate to see Caitlin Clark's season kind of go all the things that she's going to do, and then still maybe not make the playoffs. So they got to get better, and otherwise, is it? Yeah. So obviously, go ahead.
Currently, like I said, the Fever are in the 7th spot, and then Angel Reese's team, the Chicago Sky, are in the 8th spot.
Okay.
So, and I think they're both about 4 games under 500, but the Fever have played 2 more games, so pretty much the records are basically identical.
Got
Yeah.
it.
So, and then I just wanted to the other thing I wanted to talk about. It's as we're recording, day one of the Open is I'm assuming by now probably wrapping up. It's got to be.
I think it's done.
Yeah, it's almost 10 o'clock over there now. So, Trent, leaderboard, what do you got?
Yeah. The leader is currently a guy named Daniel Brown. Never heard of him. He's 6 under, shot a 65 today.
Wow.
And then you got some of the notable names in the top. I don't know. There's quite a few that are all kind of bunched together. Justin Thomas is 3 under. Shane Lowry's 5 under. Justin Rose 2 under. Xander Schauffele's 2 under. Let's see who else you got in here. Adam Scott 1 under. Then you got some guys that did not play very well today. Let's see. Ricky Fowler 8 over. Tiger Woods 8 over.
Oof.
Our boy John Daly 11 over.
Awesome.
But yeah,
Well,
it's a
how
tough
about-
tournament. The Royal Troon, I believe, in Scotland. So it's a very tough course, kind of similar to the U.S. Open as well. Should be a good
Speaking
tournament.
of course, now is the style of course over there different than the style of course here? Like
It's like a links. Yeah.
Yeah. So what does that exactly mean?
There's
Is it
not a lot of
fairway?
trees, rolling hills, lots of wispy fescue that just is
Okay.
annoying. Can't find your ball in it. Very windy. If the
was gonna
wind
say,
picks
the
up
wind-
there, it's
the
like
wind's-
scores are.
Yeah, the wind today was crazy. They said. I think it must have slowed down because when I was watching it, I think the course was playing about 2 over
Okay.
on average. But obviously, it looked like Brown and Lowry finished strong there. But that $17 million purse. How about that?
Yeah. You
You
get
know,
some cash.
do you know what the winner gets?
Probably
Well,
5, 3, 2, 3, something like that.
Well, do you guys know, like, either of you guys know, based on the links course style, is there a certain, does that play better for, other guys than maybe others? Is there someone who's maybe a favorite just because of the style of the course? Or are we still, is it still Scotty Scheffler? He's the favorite. He's the best golfer in the world. Or because it's this style, is someone like Scotty Scheffler maybe not quite the favorite just because of the style of the course?
I'm sure some odds are go to people who play that type of course better. Probably. I mean, yeah. Go ahead, Trent.
Yeah, I think Scotty Scheffler he's the best in the world, so you got to put him up there probably to win it just because of how good he is. But I think it kind of favors more of that European golfer, guys that are kind of used to playing that style, used to playing in the high winds. And then I think it like tournament to tournament depends on like, all right, we need a guy that can hit fairways consistently. If you're not in the fairway, then it makes it much more difficult on certain courses. And I think here it's like DeChambeau, for instance, hits it a mile. Control wise is fair, but he won the last major kind of based off of just hitting it as far as he could, go find it, and hit it out of wherever crap it was in, and that kind of paid off for him. But I don't think that works as well with this tournament, just based on how thick the rough is and the fescue and that type of thing.
Okay.
And then the greens, obviously, strokes gained from putting is a huge one. Just being able to get onto the green and at least 2 putt to just get off of it. Because it's a lot of just like breaking putts, super quick, a lot of speed on the greens. So I think to answer your question, I think it varies on the type of course it is and what players do well. So like Bryson hits it really far. So the courses that are a little bit shorter to where he could hit driver and then just like pitch a wedge up onto the green would benefit him more versus the long courses where someone like Zach Johnson or Ricky Fowler, who don't hit it as far, makes it much more difficult to win a tournament like that.
All right. All right, fellas. Well, great show today. We are off until next Tuesday. Enjoy your long. Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. Big Mo, anything to add?
Well, I will add it. The purse for the winner is $3 million.
Oh,
3
okay.
mil.
3 mil.
Okay.
And I will say, how about the odds of? I think Scheffler had the best odds to win currently, but the Danny Brown is what, like 50,000 to 1 odds to win or something like that.
Oh,
Shit.
So you wonder if these golfers, if they like, hey, I'm just throw a little bit on myself every once in a while. Is that allowed in golf?
I'm sure it's not.
Yeah, I wonder if it is.
I don't know. It's probably the same, just like
Individual though, individual sport.
Yeah, but
I think it's. I think if you're an athlete, you should be able to bet on yourself to do good versus
yeah,
the other way. Like if you bet on yourself to like your team to lose, I think you get in trouble. But if you like put $20 on yourself every night to score 25 points,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know.
I guess that would. I mean, to me, like in the basketball realm, it would defeat the purpose. Like, because if I'm going out to score 25, am I really doing it for the best part of my team?
True.
Like
True,
maybe my
that's-
team doesn't need me to score 25, and I shouldn't be shooting it that much.
Yeah.
Whereas golf, like automatically, like, hey, if I feel like I'm feeling good and I can go out and win this round or this tournament, obviously I shouldn't be able to bet on myself to play bad, but
Yeah.
maybe I'm like, hey, maybe Danny Brown walked in this afternoon and was like, whoo, I'm ready to go. I feel like I'm going to shoot I'm going to shoot around today. So I don't know.
Well, and two, I'm guessing you can now, you can bet at any point in the tournament. So I'm sure, like the fact that what did you say he's the leader?
Danny
He
Brown.
is.
Yeah.
6
Yeah.
under.
So now I wonder what do his odds look like now if you put place a bet on him now?
Oh, I'm sure they're not quite that high now,
Yeah,
but he
but-
still has to. I mean, I bet they come down.
Oh, but not.
He still has to be able to hold that through
Yeah.
3 more rounds.
Yeah, so it's probably still great,
Oh yeah, I'm sure they're
Um,
I'm sure they're. I mean, yeah, no.
Well, speaking of that, Big Mo, who are you picking to win?
Danny Brown. Let's ride it. Let's go.
All right. Trent, who you got?
Not Danny Brown. I'm not taking Danny Brown. I don't even know who Daniel Brown is.
Yeah.
Yeah, what Big Mo just started calling him Danny.
Danny, they're
Sounds
besties
good, doesn't
now.
it? Sounds good. I don't know.
Give me Xander Schauffele.
Okay. So that would be his second major of the year, right?
Yeah, give me Xander. He's currently 4 back. Tees
Okay.
off of at the ass crack of dawn. That's got to be hard too. How early do you think those guys get there to kind of fix that sleep schedule?
Oh, I bet.
Because
Oh, yeah.
Xander tees off at 4:25 tomorrow morning.
What? Oh, our time.
Our
Yeah.
time 4:25.
I bet they're in that area for like a week at least.
Probably, I would say a week. They probably get there, at some point over the course of the last weekend, I bet.
Yeah, because you got to be able to adjust a little bit to that, or you're just really going to pay for it.
Where's
So yeah, give me Xander Schauffele.
all right? Where'd you say Scheffler's at? Where'd you say DeChambeau's at?
Scheffler is 1 under. He could easily still come back and win.
Yeah.
And DeChambeau, where is DeChambeau? DeChambeau's 5 over.
Okay.
T96.
Okay, and not his style course. All right. Well, I'm going to be boring, and I'm gonna go with Scheffler.
You take Scotty with the comeback.
Yeah. So
Let's go Brown.
Danny Brown. Oh,
I might pay you 50,000 to 1 odds if Danny Brown wins.
I'm betting $1.
Hey, it's worth it if it is.
maybe, and again, obviously we waited until the end of round 1 to make our predictions, but maybe just the fact, Big Mo, that you publicly put it out there in the atmosphere that you're picking Danny Brown, maybe we can get him as a guest on the show.
Oh, sure, maybe, especially if he wins, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet. I would know Danny Brown.
Give us a
then.
call, Danny. Give us a call.
Yeah.
Uh,
Danny Brown doesn't even have a picture on ESPN.
where's he from?
England.
Okay.
I think that's the England flag. Shit.
Is like white with like a red
Cross.
Yeah.
Yeah, England.
All right. Oh, we have too much fun, don't we, guys?
We do.
Yeah,
Definitely.
All right. Anything else, fellas? Anything else you're looking forward to over the weekend, or anything else we missed? Not a lot going on.
Not a whole lot going on.
In fact, yesterday was the one of only 2 days out of the entire year where there's not one game played of the 4 major sports.
Sad time for sports.
Yeah.
Well, you did have the Olympic team playing, right?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, but I mean, no NBA, no NFL, no Major League Baseball, no NHL.
Yeah,
So
we all survived.
we did. We did. Not only did we survive, we put together some excellent shows still this week. Just phenomenal. But yeah, Olympics right around the corner too, and so that'll be good. USA did have another win yesterday over Serbia, right?
Yeah, they smoked Serbia.
Over Joker.
Yeah, Curry had like 24 or something like that.
Still not
Six
starting them.
threes.
Still not starting them, Big Mo.
All right,
Yeah,
maybe I start Curry.
That's crazy.
And I did. Was LeBron playing a little bit of the one though?
Probably.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm not too far off.
Yeah.
You know, with KD being her, let's slide Curry into the starting lineup, and there you go. There's your winning team right there.
That was so funny when neither was picked, put him in the starting 5, and Trent just goes, best shooter on the planet, and he's not even in your lineup.
Yeah, you gotta defend. You gotta defend to win championships.
Yes.
So let's go with LeBron.
Well, he can just sit in the middle. He just sits in the middle pointing. Guard
Just
there,
get
guard there.
blow by, chase
Yeah.
down, block.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. See?
elite.
Wise. We call that wise.
It's like the back tag.
All right, fellas. Well, hey, we are off for the long weekend again, and we'll be back Tuesday. So we'll see you then.